Hey guys, how's it going? Duj2 here, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. This is a Let's Talk, and I want to talk about several things. This is not the first time I've tried to record this. I've tried to record it several times actually, and each time I kind of keep going off on a different tangent that I want to try and do. So I'm trying. I've written some stuff down, and I'm going to try and stay on point here and explain what I want to talk about here. And this is something I've wanted to talk about for quite a while. And I've been trying to organize my thoughts on how to approach this properly. And two things have happened recently that have made this, that have helped me. One was a question that was asked yesterday during stream, as I was getting questions for the question and answer video, and another is the update we got today. Earlier today, we got this update regarding the multiplayer update, and it says we previously announced that multiplayer mode would be implemented starting from February 2017. However, in order to make further adjustments and optimizations, we will unfortunately need to postpone this update to April 2017, which, if a lot of you don't know, April 7th is the 1-year anniversary of this game. We deeply apologize for this delay. We'll provide more information regarding multiplayer mode and other new additions in the near future. Thank you for your patience as we do everything to make it worth the wait for you all. Okay, so before I get into my opinion or what I think about this notice, I think it's funny how they said information. Let me read you guys the question that was asked yesterday during the stream. And this question was from Maximus Meridius. He said, since people who just started the game without having deep pockets will take a while to gain strength even enough to finish events and quests, what would you do if I was a radical, Square Enix employee to help those players catch up? This question is kind of what made me come up with the title of this video, which I'm not exactly sure I'm going to title it yet. I'm going to title actually either is the game broken or why is the game broken, something like that. But it made me really step back and think about what doesn't work in this game right now. And there's a couple of things that I feel don't exactly work in the game. But you know what? Let's talk about... Okay. Let's go step by step through here. Let's talk about multiplayer. As a lot of you know, I didn't think multiplayer was going to come out in February. I honestly thought they were going to push it back. I believe I said I thought they were going to push it back till April, to the anniversary. A multiplayer in a turn-based strategy game like this is extremely hard to pull off. I've seen other games try and pull it off. It comes out very clunky, very boring, very frustrating. In other mobile games and even other console or PC games. It's very hard because the power disparity and the gap between players can be so huge at times that it either turns into a complete just steamroll or just a total carry. Especially if you're going to do a kind of sense where you're going to do a group of people going in turn-based and trying to defeat an enemy. It's very hard to pull off, unless you seriously handicap the more advanced players and other things. But anyway, I've been really curious and really hopeful that they would be able to introduce some sort of alternate gameplay method so that it would be both fair and consistent to everyone, and at the same time introduce new gameplay and new modes of gameplay. Again, with a game like this, it's very difficult to do. I don't know how I would do it. I personally have no clue how I would do it. It would be wonderful if you could even do a PvP style gameplay. But again, the dynamics of this game don't really lead you to that. It's too difficult to be able to pull that off. Our competitive nature or our competitive side of this game lies in Coliseum or the high score challenges. But even those, again, they are very much dominated by the people who are able to spend a lot of money to be able to get the best stuff in the game. But then again, that's pretty much all games. Unless you have a tiered ranking system where you're only able to compete with people of the same level or tier as you. That a lot of times is controlled by how much money someone has spent, in the game. But anyway, which leads me to the main question that I know a lot of people have said this, and I want to talk about this because it's a very hard topic to talk about, but the money in this game. A lot of people think and say, well, the game is broken because of Square Enix, because they're too greedy. Because I know there's even people saying that the game is broken because of the people who pay money to play it. Which that's a whole other thing we can get into, which I'm not going to get into, but I don't believe that. I personally believe, and I'm very thankful for the people who have spent a lot of money in this game, because they've shown the developers that it's a game worth continuing to advance and develop. The fact that the developers don't really care and have decided to just take that money and not really give us original content or open lines of communication with the community, or try to work with the fans and treat them as fans instead of just customers, that's on them. That's not on the people who have decided to spend money on this game. And that kind of brings me to the next point of thinking and saying, do I think... I don't believe that what's broken in this game is the jewel system. The paying system, the jewel system, the pull system. I believe it's very unfair, and I've said for a very long time that I feel that they should have reduced the cost of both pulls and avatar boards. I think we talked about this recently too, but I've been saying it for a long time. $25 a pull is it's common nowadays because that's what a lot of games have as their basic pull things. $25-$30 for a pull, but it's kind of ridiculous, to be perfectly honest. And there's a lot of other games who have much higher. There's games who have $65, $80, $100 per pull of their best chest or their best pack opening or their best things like that, and that's in hopes of getting one of the the top tier cards or medals or characters. So that's just what the environment demands, and it would be nice to see a company think outside the box and think, what if we, like, for example, in our game, if they were to say, okay, 1,000 jewels, 1,000 jewels per avatar board, 1,000 jewels per pull, and people would, I'm sure they saw the difference in the Black Friday deal, the $5 VIP. I am sure that they made so much more money on that week than normal, and it wasn't just because it was Black Friday or because it was Thanksgiving or whatever the time. It really was because of the cost of it. Even $5 a week is pretty high, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so no, I don't believe that's what's broken in the game. I believe that it is a discouraging point in the game, and I believe that a lot of people have spent a lot of money and they feel like they've been kind of treated wrong, and they have left the game because it just feels like it feels very unfair. And I know there's a lot of people who feel that way. Equally, I know that there are people who have been playing since day one and who have incredibly powerful medals and who have played this game strategically brilliantly and are at the same level or much higher than I am. And the perfect way of checking that is the Coliseum rankings. There's a lot of people in the top 100 who have been playing for over 300 days and have, you know, about 200 medals pulled or less. It's awesome. It's very awesome, and I kind of wish that these people would have talked to me before I did a lot that I've done, because I've talked about how I have been very unwise with how I've spent jewels in this game. I should have been tackling it from a much more strategic point, you know. But again, that's beside the point. What I think is broken about the game is the time management in the game. And I've kind of talked about this in the past. I've said little things here and there about this in the past about the game, but this game is a game that time management does not reward you in any way. If anything, it punishes you severely. And we can see that even stronger now because of what we're currently dealing with, which is the lack of 0 AP. You can't do anything in this game without zero AP. Right now in the game, you can go and farm a few runs of the, well, how many can I do? 6 runs, I think, of the Huey, Dewey's, or Louis, and you're out of AP. And no one wants to spend 100 jewels just to restore their AP. Also, okay, so let me explain what I feel is broken about the game. It's the time management. This game is not a game that rewards you for playing a lot. Is not a game that rewards you for investing your time. There's a lot of games out there that will reward you a lot with the in-game currency as you progress and advance in the game. For example, if you reach level 1, 5, 10, 20, 30, 100, whatever, you know, you get in-game currency. Just for progressing in your level. Also, there's a lot of games that reward you for being logged in for a long amount of times, for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, you know. And how they reward you? In-game currency. This game gives us in-game currency, but it feels like a job. It feels like you have to pay to be able to get that. So for example, AP is our natural, is one, it's kind of like an in-game currency. It's a natural in-game currency. It's time. Time is our biggest asset. Time is, you know, something that everyone can give a game. So you have your time and you have your AP and you start going through quests, and you go through quests, and there's a certain point where you can't advance, but every 5 quests you get jewels, in-game currency. You complete a quest, you get jewels, in-game currency. I still need to figure out how much total in-game currency there is in the game, just in the basic game. Like, if you go through all the quests, just all the quests right now, or everything that's currently available in the game that doesn't go away, you know, like events or challenges, but how much in-game currency there just is in the game. But we don't get jewels in the avatar boards. And that's the only really thing that we get. Like, if you advance a level, you get rewarded with your HP and AP goes up, I think, if I remember correctly. I forget what goes up. Wow, I haven't leveled up in so long. But whatever goes up as you level up, you get You don't get in-game currency. You don't get rewarded for spending your time. And by this I mean there's a lot of other very successful games out there where as long as you play the game a lot, you can slowly climb up the mountain and eventually get to be a very, very good player or very top ranked player. In this game, time is not on your side, because if you start playing this game today and you plan on not spending money on the game, you are going to miss out on so much. And that's the other part that I think, that's the part that I think is like combined with why this game is broken. The time, I don't want to call it mismanagement, but the lack of rewards in the time you spend in the game, and the fact of the no longer available events and medals and rewards. We have a lot of time-based rewards. For example, all of the event medals. Every single event medal we've ever gotten in the game, there are some amazing ones out there. If I could go back in time and play this game all the way differently from day one, I am seriously so tempted to start a new account, guys. The problem with starting a brand new account is I have no hope of getting like Marley B, or Jack Skellington, or just all these medals. There's so many medals that we've gotten from the very beginning, event medals that, of course, they are completely overshadowed by some of the pullable medals that we have, or the tier 4s and a lot of the tier 3s. I mean, come on, that's how the dynamic of the game is made, you know, that spending money will reward you. But there are so many medals out there, so many event medals that could be properly used, and you could advance so far in this game without spending any money. But those medals aren't available anymore. So I've talked about this comparison before about the free-to-play player, and I think that there's many different levels of free-to-play players. A free-to-play player playing from day one is going to be godly compared to a free-to-play player who's been playing 30 days, a month. Through over 300 days, guys. We've had this game over 300 days. That's incredible. That's incredible to me that we've been doing this over 300 days now. And it also astounds me that the lack of rewarding on the part of Square Enix for the people who have dedicated so much of their time. Money, you know, money, of course, some people have it, some people don't. Some people can spend, some people can't. That's fine. But time, there are people who have invested so much time into this game. And I kind of wish we had one of those timers where I could see how many hours you've been logged in or actively playing. Because I know there's so many people, including myself, that we have spent so much time on this game. And it hasn't really awarded us. Because, and this leads me back again to the AP thing, which is the second part of why I feel this game is broken. Well, not broken at this point, but I don't know another word to use, but it's breaking, maybe. Zero AP has come to kind of ruin the game for me. When we don't have zero AP, you can't do anything. You can't even just farm. You can't just farm and just have fun or go back and redo certain quests. You can't do anything. You're just stuck in this loop of I can't do anything. And I think that's something that they never really told us about, but I think that they designed this game to be a game where You're not supposed to be in it all the time. But hey, what can you say? We love Kingdom Hearts, and we wanna play the game. It's just how it is. But okay, let me wrap up with this. I know there's a lot of people who say there's nothing to do in the game. When we don't have zero AP, I agree with you. I agree with you that the game is just sitting there, waiting for either a new event or zero AP to come back. Weeks like this week and last week too, are so slow. I don't want to say I don't want to say depressing, but they're just so slow in this game because you don't even have a challenge that you can continue doing. Unless you're really into trying Coliseum, but at a certain point in Coliseum you just can't continue. You just can't advance anymore. But we don't have a high score challenge. We don't have something that to test ourselves. And that's what I was hoping that multiplayer was going to come and change. It was going to give us something at a low AP cost or no AP cost where you could just hang out with people, try out different challenges, help other people, learn from other people, teach other people. I was really hoping that multiplayer was going to come to do that for us in this game. I'm trying to think of how to say this to wrap this up, but to all the comments that I always see about, oh, this game is so boring, there's nothing to do in it. I don't think it was meant to be a game where you could be in it all the time. And I believe that zero AP broke us in that sense. We were taught, or we were conditioned, or we were lied to think that this is a game that we can play 24/7 all the time, never running out of AP. And maybe they should just implement zero AP all the time. At this point in the game, I really feel like we just need zero AP all the time. Just give us zero AP all the time. There's no reason that we shouldn't have zero AP. If we had zero AP all the time, we could just play more. And isn't that what you want, Square Enix? Isn't that what any developer wants? For people to play their game more. The longer you're in the game, the more you want to do stuff in it. The more you even want to spend or pull or whatever. But not having zero AP just doesn't make sense anymore. It just doesn't make sense anymore. We really should have zero AP all the time. The AP system makes no sense in this game at this point. It just doesn't, especially after you've introduced zero AP and shown us everything that we could do in this game, and then you just take it away. And now we're faced with moments where once an event comes out and we finish it on the first day, which is something else I want to talk about real quick, or we can't farm. Even farming in the regular quest, just you could just farm all day long and slowly stack up your planes or your evolve materials. Zero AP just needs to be here. The AP system in this game is broken. It doesn't work. Maybe it works for questing. Maybe it works for certain little things like that. Like the AP system should apply only to quests. Only to quest. Everything else, there's no point in having the AP system. There really isn't. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is the events. I know a lot of people come in and say, oh, this game is so boring, there's nothing to do. That's on us. I know that now I've kind of changed how I do things, and that's because a lot of you guys were asking me to do events quicker. For example, when Zigbar came out, or when Zemnis B came out, and of other events or high score challenges, you guys were like, don't wait till like, halfway through the event to do a guide about it or to try it out. People wanted me to do it earlier on, and I agree. And that's why, if you guys notice, I try and do them as soon as they come out. I try and challenge them. I try to analyze them. I try and make guides about them. I try and figure it out and see how far I can go with them. But the problem with that is, like, the Zigbar event, it's just sitting there for me now. It's sitting there for days, and I can't do anything about it. I can't even run the quest over and over and over again, hoping for an extra Zigbar, hoping for maybe 10 jewels. Like, if you could run the quest over and over and over again, and you had a small chance of getting a tier 2 medal or anything else apart from nothing, it would make sense. Once you're done with an event, you don't touch it anymore, especially the ones that are not, well, of course, the ones that are not farmable. And that's also broken in the game. We need some sort of compensation or some sort of incentive to continue playing certain events, or somehow leveling something up. I don't know. And to finish this, I know this Let's Talk has gone for quite a while now. And again, this you know what, this is actually a Duj2 Talks. This is not a Let's Talk. This is just me talking to you guys, kind of emptying my brain, and going through a list of things. This notice, multiplayer. Should we receive compensation for this delay? No. I'd rather they get it right, which, again, I have no idea how they're going to get this right, because multiplayer in this game just sounds so weird, that I hope they have a stroke of genius and they make something awesome out of it. It makes sense now why we've seen so many updates coming up and so many new medals in the album, and so much data being downloaded to the game, because they probably realized, oh, it's not going to work, so we need to give them a lot of stuff to keep them busy. That doesn't help us the last 2 weeks that we've been doing nothing really, but whatever. If anything, I'd rather see them work on the things that I've talked about today. The power balance in the game, comparatively with people playing from a long time ago and people playing from right now, is completely unbalanced. There's so much you can no longer obtain, and so much that could help you be an effective free-to-play player. Or someone who doesn't spend a lot of money in the game. I understand why they won't do that, because they want you to spend money in the game, but that doesn't work. The duel system in the game is broken, but in the senses that I explained. I mean, it's a business. If they want to do polls, if they want to do whatever, that's their business to do it. I still believe that the cost should be much lower, and I also believe the whole $15 per week VIP thing is just outlandish. It's just ridiculous, and I can't believe they're still doing it. And some weeks I haven't done it because I just can't, I can't do it. Like this week, I really shouldn't have done it this week. I don't know why I did it this week. It's done me absolutely no good this week to get VIP. When we don't have 0 AP, there's no point in getting VIP. That's a good slogan right there. And I'm sorry that I got VIP this week. I shouldn't have gotten it. I wasn't thinking when I went to get it, and I just got it. I wasn't feeling very well. But seriously, when there's no 0 AP, it's pointless to getting VIP. There's no reason to get it at all. I'm completely wasting VIP this week. And yes, the 3,000 jewels is not bad, but that's cost. That's jewel cost. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say right now. I'm sorry if this video is a little ranty and it's gone, a bunch of different ways, but that's what these Duj2 talks are about. These are just me talking about what's in my brain, what's, what I feel about it. And I'm not angry about this multiplayer note update. I'm a little disappointed because I really was hoping to see VIP this month, multiplayer this month, and seeing what they did with it. But again, like I said, I'm not going to say, oh, I hope they get it right, because I have no idea how they would get it right. Multiplayer in a game like this is just so weird. Unless it turns into some MMO kind of thing. Seriously. Unless it turns into, kind of like a RuneScape God Wars situation, which would be really cool, actually. But if they turned it into that kind of a game with multiplayer, which would be amazing, and it would be incredible, and I would love it, which actually that would really work awesome, wouldn't it? Oh wow, that would be incredible if they could do something like that. But and MMOPRG, massive multiplayer online role-playing game, RPG, MMORPG. Unless they go that route, I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't know how they're gonna make this game multiplayer. I hope they do it right. I hope they get it right, because I really would like to play with all you guys and play with the community and expand all that. That would be wonderful to do, but I don't know how they're gonna do it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say here. I hope it's made a little sense, all the ramblings I've said here. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to get across here. But thank you very much for watching. As always, I am Duj2, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.